Hello and welcome to Woodshed Reviews, where we look at films old and new, good and bad. And on today's show, we're looking at the action classic from Hong Kong, Police Story 3, Supercop.
You've seen it before?
Oh yeah, you suggested a Jackie Chan film, and I said, well, Police Story 3, Supercop.
Is that the top of the pile for you?
It is, yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm not arguing with that. Like,
Obviously the third in the series, the original trilogy, and then you had a few others after this.
spin-offs and a couple of reboots, remakes, was there?
Yeah, so about 7 films altogether.
Yeah, they're loosely connected, not story-wise or anything like that, just through the character of Jackie Chan playing, well, It was Kevin Chan when I watched him as a kid, an English dub.
Oh, okay.
But he's Chan Ku Kai or something, is it? Nowadays.
I think his surname is Chan, so that makes it kind of easy.
These were kind of breakthrough cult hits back in the 80s and 90s and stuff. But I guess this was on the cusp of him kind of breaking through.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of years later, Rumble in the Bronx and the like kind of
That's right, yeah.
really cemented him.
If you've never seen him before,
It's him! Give me that gun!
you've never seen action.
We got hostages! They're in a hovercraft! Call out the Coast Guard!
New Line Cinema presents the action hero who does all his own stunts.
So he wrote and directed the first 2 films. He handed over directing duties in this one, so he could focus on his performance more, and all the better for it. I think one of his best kind of performances. He's really funny in this. The action's fantastic.
Yeah.
We have Michelle Yeoh joining him in this one.
Yeah, pairing up slightly mismatched cop sort of dynamic between them, which is classic kind of stuff.
喂，你盞阻住我做嘢嘅啫噃。
你太大男人啦，上頭嘅就好。
誒，福生咩事啊？女仔之家駁嘴駁舌，我講嘅佢都唔聽，我教訓啦。
咩叫女仔之家？毛主席話㗎，婦女能頂半邊天啊！
Yeah, a great chemistry, I think. They work really well together. And this was Michelle Yeoh returning after a 5-year hiatus. She knew Jackie Chan from before when they were starting out. And
Because she's done martial arts films before, obviously. So.
yeah, though she's never trained in it. She trained as a ballerina,
Okay.
but she picked up the martial arts quite quickly.
Sure. Completely believable. No question about that. Yeah, this is proper action stuff, this is, and it's all the better that you can see that, not all the time, but most of the time, they're doing their own stunts.
The first 2 films, I think, were pretty much all set in Hong Kong, and this one had a more international feel to it.
Yeah, they're kind of darting about a little bit more.
Yeah, a bit more scope to it, James Bond-esque.
我成個香港無安警察冇人做得呢單嘢嘅，好唔好？叫詹士幫做啊嚇！
Start off in Hong Kong, and he gets an undercover mission to go to China to infiltrate a drug gang.
Run by Chai Bat. So he does this by breaking out one of his lieutenants from a mining prison facility, and he's doing that with Michelle Yeoh, but she ends up getting entangled in it when they're posing as his family in a village that he sort of like claims to have grown up in.
同你影相嗰條女啊！哦，你愛人啊？哦，嗰個係啊？
你翻咗嚟啦！
啊，我個妹啊！
That leads to a lot of comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had a kind of Blake Edwards, Pink Panther feel to it.
哦，阿妹啊，唔見咗咁多年啊，高咗咁多啊！哎呀，靚咗添喎，肥咗添啊！
Yeah, tonally, the Police Story films always kind of waver quite a bit. This is probably the most consistent one, I think. Yeah, but it still goes from one extreme to the next sort of thing. And I thought it was quite funny or bemusing maybe why they gave him a fake mother in this scene. And then it's played by his chief inspector,
Uncle Bill.
Uncle Bill from the previous films. And it's like, why not just say he's got a dad?
帶埋過去咯。嚇！啊，食飯先講，好快翻嚟㗎。斬雞啊嘛！喂，咁就拜拜啦媽。
I don't know. It wouldn't have made any difference, you know.
Must have a thing for cross-dressing.
Yeah, maybe. I like the story because it always going to extra levels where he's kind of moving up in the hierarchy of this organisation. He's moving up from Brother Pao to Chai Bat, infiltrating this organisation, and then he gets inveigled in it, and they have to do things that they don't want to do, but to keep their cover and stuff like that. So that keeps it kind of fresh.
做我哋呢行啊，最緊要就係要小心。我歡喜你哋兩個，歡迎你哋加入，仲唔多謝大哥？多謝大哥。
多謝大哥。
I think they moved to Thailand, don't they?
Yeah, that's amazing.
And I think they moved to these other countries because they have less restrictions on stunts and they get away with crazy stuff.
Yeah. Well, I noticed that there's like one bit where they fire a bazooka into like an open tent sort of thing where they're maybe having their dinner or something. But they're surrounded by like crates of ammo and stuff, just boom. And it's like, yeah, that's the way to do it. Crazy stuff like that. Bullets and bodies and fire flying about everywhere.
And it's all real stuff.
As ridiculous as it is, they're actually doing this, you know, they're actually falling through these roofs and jumping off these things and setting people on fire and all that stuff.
You feel the danger when you're watching it. You just can't believe what you're watching half the time.
Yeah. They're definitely putting themselves in harm's way, and as is traditional with a Jackie Chan film, we kind of get a little montage of that at the end of the film. I mean, it was quite a reasonably serious accident with Michelle Yeoh and Jackie Chan on the car when she jumps off a van roof onto Jackie Chan's car.
And you notice he managed to grab her by the scruff of the neck so she didn't hit the pavement.
Yeah. And there's cars coming behind them as well and stuff.
But the other guy that kind of jumped off to try and help her, he ended up getting concussed.
Yeah, Tom Cruise gets all the press headlines for doing something like that once every few years or something, that Jackie Chan and Michelle Yeoh were doing this day in, day out back in the day. So, and it's all the better for it. You know, it's ridiculous action. It's completely over the top. It's total nonsense. But because they're actually doing it, it gives it that believability. And it's got, you know, helicopters tied to trains flying about and people jumping off them. It's got everything. Like you could think it's like the most insane Grand Theft Auto kind of mission ever, you know. It's definitely that thing where you can just see 101 things going wrong there, you know, when you've got all these moving aspects going on and stuff like that, especially when you think about, I can't help but think about helicopter stunts. I can't help but think about the Twilight Zone from like a few years earlier. And you think, you know, this is a thing that can happen, you know. At the same time, you know, we get a really great action sequence like that that's like pretty much like nothing else like I think I can think of really, you know, in this genre. And these days as well, you don't get anything near that kind of, and I don't think we ever will, you know.
Yeah, and it's great having the two leads, Jackie Chan and Michelle Yeoh. They're both getting their big stunts. He had a helicopter stunt dangling from the helicopter. And she did a jump onto the train. So it's really well balanced in that regard.
It doesn't veer too heavily with Jackie Chan. He's quite happy to share the limelight there. And maybe that came from the direction or something, I don't know. That maybe helped it a lot.
I think so. It's definitely one of his strongest films, I think. I think it just flows really well. There's just a lot of fun. There's a lot of really funny moments.
Yeah, well, that's a Jackie Chan trademark, isn't it? Just to kind of give us a little bit of humour threaded into it. He would bring that humour and that everyday kind of guy sort of thing to proceedings, and he wasn't invulnerable, you know. He's great at kind of like showing the pain in his face and stuff, you know.
And one thing I liked about it is the actors, you know, the actor tired in it. You know, they're doing all running upstairs and they're out of breath and struggling. Which you don't see in action films. Usually they don't break a sweat. And
when they both get to the top of that the building, there's a lot of aspects like that just thread into it and kind of make you kind of buy into it while all this nonsense is kind of happening. I wasn't too keen on the Maggie Chung kind of bit when she comes back in. This is Jackie's girlfriend, who's kind of not really in it much at the beginning, and then she comes back in and she's almost going to blow his cover, which is a great, a classic kind of idea sequence, but it's stretched out a little too long for me, you know. You were okay with that?
Yeah, I didn't mind. I like Maggie Chung. And
Yeah, sure.
It was stretched out, but and it had its moments.
我哋咪我嚟咗。面，我按摩。
Yeah, I just think if they have like the crossing paths initially, and then in a different location, then we go, and it happens again, and then it happens like a third time, and it's like if they'd maybe just kind of congealed that down into like, you know, one kind of like 5-minute scene or something like that, that would have worked better for me. It's a minor quibble. It just maybe at that stage in the film it starts to kind of slow it down a little bit. The Tribat's wife, who's in prison, she's got the code to the bank money and stuff like that. That's what it centres around, trying to break her out, and Jackie Chan has to kind of, and Michelle Yeoh are forced to help out with that. So I liked all that.
Just forget about characters like May, what happened to her.
She gets chucked out of the helicopter and then that's it.
And also the couple of bad guys that kind of just disappeared, like Brother Pao and Pierre. There's a fight on the roof.
Brother Pao doesn't look like he looks like he could have got up from that.
Yeah, he's probably all right.
Yeah, sure.
Got away.
Yeah, it's got that classic sort of thing where we've got like a hard cut ending. You know, you kind of feel like that's action done, so that's the end of the film. Maybe it just needed a scene at the end where maybe May's in hospital and Jackie and Michelle go to see her and then they wrap it up.
I don't know. I think we've seen enough of these films. They love their abrupt endings.
Sure, that's true.
啲錢我好想攞，但係屬於我哋香港政府嘅。
唔係，屬於我哋全中國人民嘅。
俾我哋香港政府保管住先。97之後，我哋都係中國人，到時咪你哋嘅。
得啊，喂！
That's it. It's all done. That's action done. Nothing more to see. The end.
I don't know. I love this movie.
I'll go first then. I'm going to give it a 4. I mean, the ending is like the most amazing thing, like action-wise and all that. That's a 5 all the way, you know, sort of thing. But maybe, like I was saying, little moments that kind of like niggle a little bit, and I'm like, I want to get past that, and let's get onto the story and stuff. Not my favourite Jackie Chan film, but certainly up there.
What's your favourite?
It's got to be the first one, Police Story, for me. Although that does have its issues as well.
Yeah, they're great films.
Yeah, that's probably the first one. But, you know, I don't know. There's a few of them I need to kind of haven't seen for a while, or maybe need to rewatch.
And I'm going to agree with you. I was thinking 4. It's a film I can put on, you know, any time and enjoy it. There's so much to enjoy. Jackie Chan's great, Michelle Yeoh's great.
And it probably is a better film than 1, as I'm sort of saying, but I think there's maybe just a bit of a nostalgia thing for me going on with the first one. You don't need to have seen the first 2 to get into this.
No, definitely not.
So, could have just been called Supercop.
And it was over here.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Is this another film with multiple titles?
There was a release and it just said Supercop.
Okay.
But I think they've gone back and called it Police Story 3 Supercop. So I think there was a follow-up with Michelle Yeoh.
I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen it either. I don't think it's had a decent release.
Okay.
So hopefully they'll.
That's Supercop 2, yeah.
Yeah, or Project S.
Okay.
Or Mega Cop.
You're making that up now.
I'm not.
Okay. Well, if you go from Supercop, what's next? Mega Cop. Makes sense.
Okay, that's our review for Police Story 3 Supercop. Check it out.
Indeed. See ya.